Okay, let's get into the source material. It gives a really fascinating look into server-side programming. You know, if you think of an app's interface as the dashboard of a car,
Hmm.
then the back end is the engine. It's all the stuff under the hood that you don't see, but it's what actually makes the car go.
That's a great analogy. And that's really our mission here, to just quickly break down what that engine does. What are its core jobs and what are the tools developers use to build it?
Right. So diving into those mechanics, the back end is kind of the brain, the decision maker. It's where the heavy lifting happens. We're talking about storing data, user logins, and the application's business logic.
And that term, business logic, is so critical. It's basically the application's rulebook. It's not just save this photo. It's checking, say, if a user is old enough to buy something, or calculating taxes, or even just managing server traffic so the whole thing doesn't crash.
So it's juggling a lot of different jobs then. How does the part we actually see the front end talk to this complex brain?
It talks through an API, an application programming interface. Think of the API as a waiter in a restaurant.
Okay, a waiter. I like the...
You, the user, give an order. The waiter, the API, takes that order to the kitchen, which is the back end. Make sure the kitchen understands the request, and then brings the finished dish back to your table in a predictable way.
That makes sense. So to really see this engine work, let's maybe trace a real example. Forget a simple login. Let's talk scale. When I search for mobile phone on a huge site, what's happening behind the scenes? Because it's not just looking up one thing, right?
No. And that performance challenges everything. When you search, the backend gets that request. It then has to query massive databases for product info, for inventory, pricing, all in milliseconds. And then it packages all that raw data into a clean API response, like phone 1, phone 2, and sends it back. The front end knows exactly how to read that package and display it instantly.
So all of this needs some pretty specialized tools. The source material seems to argue that it's not always about just picking the newest, fastest language.
Absolutely not. It's about the right tool for the right job, for the right environment. For example, you have Java with a framework like Spring Boot. It's the gold standard for big enterprise systems. Think banking, where stability is everything.
Right, where you absolutely cannot have it fail.
Exactly. Then you have something like Python using Django or Flask. It's much easier to learn, and it's huge for web apps, automation, and of course, AI.
And I have to bring up JavaScript with Node.js. That seems to be everywhere.
Oh, it's a massive force. Companies like Netflix and PayPal use it because you can use one language for both the front end and the back end. It's especially good for real-time things like live chats or streaming.
And what about the newer players? The source mentions Go.
Right, Go or Golang, which came out of Google. It's built for speed and handling many tasks at once. Perfect for modern cloud services. But you also can't ignore the older, established platforms like Ruby on Rails. GitHub and Shopify are still built on it. Its maturity is a huge advantage.
So if we boil this all down, the takeaway is that the back end is this incredibly sophisticated logic layer. It connects what we see to the data and the rules, and the whole conversation is governed by APIs.
And that leads to a really interesting trade-off we see in the industry. Companies have to weigh the long-term stability of something like Java or Ruby on Rails against the raw speed and scaling power of a newer tool like Go. Which brings up a final thought for people to consider. Beyond just speed, what other factors? What do you think influences a company's choice of a back-end engine for its long-term health and success?